To the core, the prospect of David and Ruth Archer deserting Ambridge, upping sticks and moving north.
The good news is that the actor, Tim Bentinck, who's played David for more than 30 years, hasn't left Brookfield Farm at all. Instead, he has diversified, swapping farming for fiction.
I'm speaking to Tim in just a moment. First, let's listen to some of last night's episode.
Kenton?
What?
What was all that about?
Well, what?
Well, what is the point of you coming to an action group meeting if you're just going to raise stupid objections and be obstructive?
Well, someone needs to stand up to you.
What are you talking about?
You seem to think we should all roll over and do things your way.
No, I don't.
So I was simply inviting people to challenge your decisions, to make sure that they were robust.
Kenton, if you've got a problem with me...
Oh,
could we settle it in private rather than in front of the entire village?
May I remind you that a month or so ago you were perfectly prepared to leave this village to its fate. So you setting yourself up now as the selfless defender of the community? No. You have got a nerve. You really have.
He's really got a nerve.
My brother having a go again.
Morning.
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 So we were just discussing while that was running. Your mum used to be in the Archers.
It's a very long time ago. Yes, so yes.
And she played a few characters.
And the extraordinary thing is, well, number one is it's still running. I mean, it's quite something to be part of. Something that heritage, isn't it?
It's an icon of England. I'm so proud of being in it. You know, it's been my living for quite a long time. I'm very lucky as an actor to have this as a sort of a regular backup to pay the mortgage. And at the moment we're a bit high profile because people are getting a bit excited about it.
So how does it fit into your life? How many days?
We do 6 days per month.
Right.
And then the rest of the time to do other things. So we go up to Birmingham and record it. We do 2 episodes in the morning, 2 episodes in the afternoon, 6 days, and that's the whole month's output.
And you've been doing it for what,
33 years.
And you've seen some changes. So are you surprised by the excitement that's being generated?
No, not at all, because it keeps happening. People seem to be surprised that it's surprising and surprised that it's dramatic. But in fact, it's been dramatic ever since it started. It goes in waves, the Archers. You have moments of kind of great high drama, and then it goes back to the flower and produce show and tea and cakes and
which
milking
equally
and
people enjoy.
Which people adore, and quite rightly. People like it to be nice, and people like it to be dramatic. And those people are sometimes the same people, and sometimes they're different people. So you can never please all the people. You can never please everybody, because some people want it to be like this, some people want it to be like that, and some people want it to change in the way that it does. So we try to make people shout at the radio, really, is what we're trying to do. And if we're doing that, then we're doing the job right.
You come in this morning to talk about your book,
yeah,
which is a children's story, and this was part of your own life that you started writing about.
Well, it is. I wrote it 20 years ago when we had this old camper van, which, the heater didn't work for a start. My wife hated it. The kids loved it. We used to take it on holidays. I actually used to go up and sleep in it in Birmingham to save on hotel bills.
This is Colin.
Colin. There's Colin. And I wrote it 20 years ago when the kids were 10 and 6 years old as a kind of wish fulfillment thing, to saying what would it be like if we could spend all the money we could on it, put a Porsche engine in it, a computer, have a hi-fi, all the whole thing. And Colin has a personality. Which is that of a child, really. When you're pootling along at 50 miles an hour in an old camper van and these big cars are going flying, but there they are.
Is that Happy Memories?
That's my wife.
That was the original Colin,
That's Judy and Willem and Jasper. And there's Will, aged about 6, when we were camping in Wales.
When you look at a picture like that, you can't help but feel nostalgic, and that's what I felt when I read this children's. It reminded me of the books I had when I was younger. Less glossy, less fancy, less extreme, just a really simple story about a kind van, for want of a better description.
That was the idea, and this wonderful artist Owen Claxton, who I'd never met, suddenly out of the blue, I was getting these pencil drawings of how about this, and
because you published this. Sorry for interrupting, but you published this first on
I put it up on Kindle,
didn't you?
Yeah, it lay dormant on my computer for about 20 years, and then when Kindle came out, sorry, I shouldn't say that thing beginning with K, I uploaded it because I'm a bit of a computer geek, so I put it up there, and it lay there for a while, and then a publisher found it and said, this is really nice, would you like to publish it? I went, yes. Next thing I knew, I'm getting all these pictures, and as you say, it's sort of, Owen Claxton, this wonderful artist, they're rather sort of old-fashioned and kind of pastel shades and not in your face, and it's a gentle story, and it's sweet, and with a bit of luck, you had a kind of, had a moment of, oh no, in it. There is one of those moments.
Yeah.
It's interesting you're talking about the pictures there. It reminded me very much of the original pictures of Thomas the Tank Engine.
Oh right, that's good.
Because they used to have, they would have pieces of machinery, like a bulldozer or a tractor, and they had just the eyes on the front, and instantly they became characters.
That's it, and every car has a face. And in a way, these older cars, you know, I mean, you have a relationship with a car when you can't get it to start in the morning, and I've been around the back of a VW, literally changing the alternator in the middle of the night in the rain, and then you have a relationship with a car when you can do that. Nowadays, with computer chips, the relationship is sort of slightly different. And these old cars, I always felt when I was pootling along that it was a bit of a child, you know, that Colin is a kid. So it's easy to write from his perspective, because you're writing from the perspective of being a child. And that the big cars going flying past you at, you know, Clarkson speed are kind of grown-ups, you know, in a way. And that those are the kind of the grown-ups and the kind of the bullies and the, you know, and we're kind of going along. And it's
are there more stories in the tank?
There are. I'm writing it at the moment, in fact. And in fact, this weekend, this Easter weekend, when I finally got some time, I'm in the middle of after 20 years, it's quite fun to kind of come back to it and go, right, now this is where the story kind of carries on. So yeah, there are lots more stories coming, that's the whole point.
And it is also based on your experiences?
Based on my experiences with my family, yeah. And the the relationship, because Colin has his owner, Andy, who was a university student who won him at university, and his wife and his 2 kids, and so they're sort of us in a way. Yeah.
The publicity picture, which I assume that is there, can you really drive a tractor?
Yeah.
Oh, you can?
My dad went off down to Devon in the 70s to start an organic smallholding. He gave up being an advertising producer and decided the world was going to end and that there was going to be mass starvation. So he went off and started this 10-acre organic smallholding in Devon, and I went down there to help him. And I worked on farms when I was younger, and so
it's come in handy.
A little grey Ferguson tractor in me. I've got there's another story to become. Little grey Fergie. Grey Fergie.
Oh, it's been lovely talking to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
The Archers, of course, continues this evening at 7 p.m. BBC Radio 4. Tim's new book is called Colin the Campervan.
Time now to take a quick last look at what's happening where you are.